Well, here we go. This is a test. Yes, this is a test. And I'm really excited because I need to turn that down actually. This is a major test actually. This is the first time I've streamed in this format. And quite honestly, I hope it goes well. I've done some preparation. I have some ideas of what we can talk about, one of which is your comments, your viewer mail. I really want to talk about that. There's a lot that we need to talk about. A lot of comments that you guys have sent in to our Rush family, but also to me. And I wanted to reply in person to these. So, honestly, guys, bear with me. It's my first time. Be gentle. This is the Loudboy Experience live, what I'm calling our Rush family meeting. It is really strange to be live without a net. Normally, I fix everything in post. I've been an avid editor for 30 plus years. Um, I've worked professionally. I've trained people. I've worked all over the US and Canada in the TV and film industry. And Avid was my main product. And I used to train people and teach them. I addressed user groups all over the US and Canada on how to implement and use all the production software, live, post production, shared storage networks, visual effects, storyboarding software, all kinds of stuff. That was my expertise. That is still my expertise. And because of that, I'm a really good editor. I mean, at least I think I am. Um, and I know my way around an Avid system. That being said, I that being said, doing this live without a net, a live broadcast is new. Because normally, if I mess up, I could do another take. I rarely do them though. Most of what I do on camera is improvised in the moment, and only on the rarest of occasions, even when I'm just recording, do I go, all right, let's do another take, and I count myself down 3, 2, 1, and I'll do another one. That's what if I really mess something up. But this is different. So bear with me. First time. And it really, that makes me sound like a big novice. Well, I kind of am a novice to this particular subset. Now, back in college, I used to direct nightly live news. We had a nightly news broadcast, and I was a director. I've also worked as a producer, and that was really cool. That was hands on, in the trenches, boots on the ground, live TV production that we did every night in college. And I worked my way from writing to producing. I was actually on air talent once to do to do the weather. But then I worked my way to director, and that was fantastic because you have multiple cameras. So you have 3 cameras pointed at news anchors, and you have a TD over here, a technical director, and he would be over there switching between cameras and sources. And back then, we had videotapes as our sources, and switching. And so I would go, all right, ready two, take two, ready camera three, take three, and I would call the shots. I'd direct the news live. And then I went on and I've done some more live production. I did a live production once with what was it, 7 to 10 cameras. It was a live event at my college, and normally the professors would be the only ones that directed this, a yearly live stage show where all the clubs or sororities and fraternities on campus, they had their own musical act and number, and then so it was a whole evening of music. And actually, one of the years I played my tenor sax and soprano sax in the jazz band for that production. But I digress. I'll get to the music in a moment. So in that, we had multiple cameras. I mean, a lot of cameras. Imagine that, 7 to 10 cameras. We had at least 3 on the floor in front of the stage, a couple up higher up here, and then a couple of handheld ones. Anyway, the point is a lot of cameras. And watching a whole wall of monitors. Back then, they were literally monitors, CRT monitors. These days, you can do everything on massive flat panels, wherein there's actually software and hardware that projects the little screens. You've probably seen pictures behind the scenes of newscasts. Well, but back then we had this is like 90s, so we actually had a CRT or two monitors for each individual camera, and that was really intense. Imagine looking at this wall of monitors and you're looking for the best shot, and I'm like, okay, ready, camera 5, take 5, ready 7, take 7, and I'd be calling the shots because what's happening is IMAG is image magnification, and that would be shown on like two massive. You've seen that, even a Rush stage show, right? Theirs is a live video production done in real time while the group plays. You know that, where they show a shot of Geddy and a shot of Alex, and then a couple different angles on Neil. And then a lot of times it's a handheld camera. And then they even had a robotic moving camera on a track on the stage that could go in front of the band and stuff. Well, there's a TD, a director, and a whole crew producing that content in real time while the stage show is happening. Well, that's the kind of work I did in live production. Again, behind the scenes stuff. So fast forward to today. I have a lot of experience in live production. However, now I'm the quote unquote talent. I don't consider myself talented, but the person in front of the camera is called talent. But also, I'm also running the switching here, and I am running the entire operation and talking to you in real time. And that's why I said, please be gentle on me. This is my first time. And I already got a comment, guys, from Aaron. Hello, newbie. I was just listening to Grace Under Pressure. New here, not to rush. Awesome. Thank you, bro. Good to hear from you. So that's what we're doing here. This is the newbie, okay? You guys have been watching my videos. Thank you. Really an honor, and it is my pleasure to celebrate Rush and to celebrate Neil and to talk about Geddy and Alex, who are still with us. But I know, because I've heard from you guys, how much Neil means to us, means to you, as he does and did to me. So to be able to celebrate his life, who he was as a man, as a lyricist, his lyrics, as a drummer, a musician, a friend to Geddy and Alex, it is my supreme honor and privilege to me making these videos, that you guys are joining me for this celebration. Again, thank you. Thank you, guys. And I appreciate you being here. And even if you're watching this later and not live, thank you for watching. And thank you for joining me here at the Loudboy Experience. So yeah, let's get going. This is the newbie. So yeah, I have a lot of user comments and stuff. Just took out a bunch of Neil books from the library. Awesome. Thank you, Aaron. Guys, if you are watching, join the chat room, okay? Send me your comments. I will read them, respond to them in real time. As I'm doing the other things, I'm monitoring everything right here. So at least the newbie can do that much. And again, this is what's great, is I say great. It's like calling an enemy a friend. This is what's great, is that I'm doing all this in real time, but there is no little break. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about this because I could go on and on, but hey, we have some time. As you guys know, the Grammys are tonight, and I would like to talk about that, the state of music, and we're going to get into that. And Aaron says he has a lot of free time. I meant me, but not. Yeah, a lot of time. It's amazing how much time I've been putting into this channel. That's not to brag. That's not to pat myself in the back. I just think about it. I'm still working part-time at a steakhouse. I can do that much with my physical limitations. After my surgeries, I deal with a lot. A lot of physical limitations after my neck surgeries, pain, some neurological stuff. And even now, I was a little bit worried about the pain creeping up. And me not being able to do this, because I really wanted to get to this today. I really wanted to be able to do this live stream with you guys. So that being said, we're here, we're gathered, and I'm excited. And my dog's barking right now. So I have a story for you. I've already told you that I've worked in the TV and film industry, and I did that for over a decade, circa around 2000 all the way through 2011, almost right before Clockwork Angels came out. That's when I lost my career. And you know what? That album still sort of haunts me. As you guys know, lyrics and certain music, like, by the way, did you know that smells can be one of the strongest, most potent ways to connect you to memories? Fascinating, right? And think about that. Something that you smell, whether it be a pine tree or an apple pie or a lady's perfume or a fresh mowed grass, and you think, whoa, I'm back there as I'm a kid again. And I remember where I was at 10 years old at that street in another town, and my dad used to cut the grass. Smells connect us to, but I believe music does too. And I've talked about this in other videos. I've talked about how music is timeless. And what do I mean by that? Music is timeless in that it can connect us to any point in time in our lives. Of course, Rush does this most potently for me, and I'm sure you as well, that music can connect us to another point in our life. And it's like time travel. And now when I hear tracks from Clockwork Angels, I am transported back to a very, very turbulent time in my life when I lost my career. How did I lose it? Health stuff, my physical limitations, it took away my career. I couldn't keep up anymore. I got laid off, and plus the economy was tanking right around that time, by the way, from '08 forward to the next. The economy wasn't doing well. Look back, it's true. And actually a great way to document that, if you watch The Office, one of my favorite sitcoms of all time, they talk about how the economy is so bad. It's a big plot point of the entire series, is that we're a paper company. How can we survive in this economic climate? But so I got laid off not only because of health things, but when I got laid off though, from my career in the TV and film industry, that was huge. That was my dream career, my dream job. Getting to travel and work in TV and film. I've been everywhere from Hollywood to New York to Toronto to Montreal to every point in the U.S. I've traveled all over the U.S. and Canada working in that industry. And I say that to say, though, it was my dream job. And I lost it. And that's why Clockwork Angels haunts me to this day. Have I moved on from that? Yes. Can I still enjoy Clockwork Angels now? Yeah, I can. And let's say Ruben has checked in. Happy Sunday, Eric. Liking the Ghost Rider motorcycle in the background. Just downloaded the book last night on Kindle. Excited to read it. Yes. Yes. Please, if you guys haven't read it yet, it's right back here. There's Ghost Rider. If you haven't read Ghost Rider, it is a tough read, but Ghost Rider is a great read. An intense read. We learn volumes about Neil, what he went through, the struggles he went through, of course his loss, but also that triumph of finding love, light, and his wife, and then future daughter, Olivia, again, at the end of that journey. And that's my favorite part. I go through this, and I'm sure you have too, and if you haven't, you will. We go page after page of Ghost Rider. Oh, and it gets a little bit better over time, but it is such a tough read. But then you flip over to that last page, that last chapter, right? And right off the bat, without even a preface, he says, I met Carrie. That's the gist of it. And it's just like light opening up through the ceiling, right? And then Neil found love again. Oh, what a beautiful story. And it's real. I mean, that was his life. And I've mentioned this before that, I think mostly in comments, maybe not so much in video. I've mentioned that Neil, of course, we know is very, very private. Talked about the gilded cage, talked about his apprehension, a stranger is not a long-awaited friend, and all these things, right? I'm the same kind of introvert. I've had to learn to be an extrovert and turn on that part of my personality, but I can completely understand the place from which Neil spoke and came and lived and who he was in that regard. So, Neil, though, because of that, though, he shared so much, didn't he? It is mind boggling that someone so recluse, if you will, so much a guy that's withdrawn, within himself, shared so much through his lyrics. Come on. 40 years, 20 albums of lyrics, multiple books, travel logs, a blog later in his life. He shared so much of who he was and what he thought of the world and the man that he was. And, him just cross-country skiing. And I love that picture. He talks about the Eye of Sauron and, the big cell phone tower that they built near his cabin up there in the woods of Canada. And I remember the picture of him shaking his fist at it, right? These little moments, all the way to the blog where we saw some early pictures of Olivia's drawings. So, his brand new daughter, he's sharing his life with us. He shared so much with us. And that's why. And one of the things I want to talk about today, and we're going to get to it, that's why it was a really, very, incredibly dark day when we lost Neil. I just got a recent comment, and it encapsulated it very well. And he said, I've never cried for any other celebrity, save for when Neil passed away. And I wrote, me too. Me too. And that was a dark day. I got some more people. Hey, Michael. Hello, people. These guys are so funny. Listen to their discussions. And Aaron, man, you see. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you guys are chatting. That's great. Thank you, Aaron, man. Thank you for chatting so much. So we got Ruben here. We got Michael. We got Aaron. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you being here. Cool. I sang some of their songs. We're trying to. Yes, it is hard nailing Geddy. In college, my band Goatmeal, I was the lead singer. I've always been the lead singer in my high school band and my college band. And I'm going to talk about some of my musical history too, because I got a recent question. And that question was a guy wrote me 3 times, like last night or something. And one of the 2 of the questions had to do with, hey, I look around your room and I see that, I know you appreciate music, but do you play? And the answer is a resounding yes. I have a ton of musical experience. So let me touch on that in a moment too. So I'm getting way off track. I was talking about Neil, the dark day. And so let's talk about that. Yeah, that's a joyful subject. Let's talk about one of the worst days of our lives. But yes, a guy wrote and said that I've never cried. And that's true. When I heard that Neil had passed, I, like most of you, I'm sure you can understand, I didn't believe it at first. What? Out of nowhere? And then I check, and I see that iconic photo, the same photo I used for the thumbnail of the Neil Peart tribute on my channel, the one that says "Suddenly You're Gone," with that photo of Neil on the left side of the thumbnail. That is from the actual web page when they announced his passing. So, but it was bad. I went through the stages of grief, from denial, and then I accepted it. I'm ashamed to say I screamed at my kid during that day because I had so much subliminal, so much built up stuff inside, but eventually I wept. Yeah, I broke down and cried big time. And just to make a long story short, 6 months, I could not listen to music, any music at all. I was just shut off. Any music, Rush and everyone else. I had no interest whatsoever. 6 months at least, because that was around January. So it was sometime in the summer. I started to listen again. It took me even longer to listen to Rush again, and even now, listening to Rush gets me emotional, and it's mainly, and I've mentioned this many times in the comments, it's because I think never again will we have another Neil Peart lyric, another beautiful musical song, written by Alex and Geddy. Of course, drums Neil, but Alex and Geddy did most of the music part. and never again another Rush song. And I think because especially the songs that hit me really deeply, either musically or lyrically, I just think never again. And that, of course, gets me emotional. Yeah, kind of makes sense. And we got Barry in the house. Hey, Barry, Rush is the best. Thank you for your. Hey, you're very welcome. And thank you for being here, Barry. My goodness, you guys are going at it. Anyway, guys, thank you for chatting it up. If I read them all now, we'd be doing the whole show doing that. But guys, thank you. I see you. And as you guys come in, and if I see anything else, I'll say them out loud. Let's move on to greener pastures. A happy story. Kind of happy. Happier. Rush is the best. All right. And hey, Barry. Hey, buddy. So I've talked about my career in TV and film. And hey, Matt. Hey, buddy. How you doing, bud? Thanks for being here. So I've talked about my career in TV and film. Well, that brought me every year working in that industry to the National Association of Broadcasters, NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters show in Las Vegas. For 11 to 12 years, I went every year. It was like a week. For me, as someone who worked in the industry, we had meetings throughout the week, but we'd have to go 3 days before the show, a couple of extra days after the show. The show was like 4 days from like Monday to Thursday, once a year in Vegas. They took up every one of the convention halls. If you've ever been to Vegas and saw the convention halls, they have one with 2 levels. They have another South Concourse, and then there's even another one, I believe, over at the Sands. So there's multiple convention halls, and NAB takes all of it. Of course, I realize like the electronic show and maybe game show are probably technically bigger, but without a doubt, every hotel room in Vegas was booked for the broadcasting show. I did that for 12 years, and I actually worked on the floor, like in Avid's booth. I was a demo guy, and I'd show people, those visiting, people in the industry, I'd show them the new tech, or I'd work over in the Boris effects. Point is, I worked the show. And a couple times I brought my wife, and this is what's great. And we would eat amazing meals. Oh, the food in Vegas, ridiculous. And we had some amazing meals, on the old company credit card. So that was awesome. So we're over at Caesar's Palace. And Caesar's Palace has like a shopping mall attached to it. And so Vegas, Caesar's Palace, shopping mall. And there was a place with music memorabilia. And my wife and I are going through there, and she's seeing maybe some signed stuff from Clapton. She loves Clapton. Or maybe some stuff from the Beatles. Maybe Paul McCartney signed something, that kind of stuff. Whether it be an instrument, a poster, or some kind of memento, that kind of shop. And so kind of high-end stuff, right? Real artists, real signatures, real autographs. Then she sees it, a guitar signed by Olive Rush, Geddy, Alex, and Neil, a guitar. And I want to say the ticket price was like $1,500, right around there. She actually said, my wife and I are in this shop. She sees the guitar and she said, we got to get it. You know what I said? When my wife said, we have to get this signed guitar, signed by the entire band of Rush, I said, you know what? That's not really financially. We really shouldn't spend our money. You're looking at the dumbest guy on the planet. When my wife was ready to pony up $1,500, maybe we put it on a credit card. She didn't care. She's like, we'll pay it off. She was ready to get me this autographed guitar by Rush, and I said no. Dumbest guy on the planet, right here, guys. So that's my Vegas guitar story. I was this close, except for this really... It would be hanging right here. It would be hanging on my wall, like right next to my signed Star Wars poster. I would, of course, it would be right here. So there you go. I was so close to having a Rush signed guitar, and I can't believe I don't have a Rush sign. Yeah. So really, in essence, this is a very sad story as well, isn't it? Very sad story. 13 times. Are you talking about NAB 13 times? Yes, I think that's... No, maybe you're talking about something else. That's what I get for like picking and choosing one. Hey, Dan Loving Music, dude, thank you for being here, man. Hello, everyone. Been a fan since '79. Saw them 13. Okay, that's what it was. Favorite song, Spirit. Great song. I just used that for my Instagram post, by the way. Use Spirit of Radio. My daughter's favorite song. She loves Spirit of Radio. The last concert, 2015, of course. Very emotional. Yeah, yeah. We were just talking about how the dark day when we found out about Neil. Emotional is the right word, my friend. Oh man. So yeah, it would have been a prize. All yes, you're right. Always listen to my wife. Yeah, yeah. Ruben is saying the guitar on the wall would have been. Well, you guys can read it yourself. Yeah, yeah. You know what? And she, speaking of always listen to her, she's the one who just reminded me of this story. And I said I have to tell the guys about this. So I'm telling the guys about this. There you go, Captain Bonehead. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. So yeah, we have a ton of comments. I do want to read some of these and share some of these with you guys. And I do realize you could probably do this yourself if you so wanted to. And then we also have a couple more things to do as well. Let's see. But I do want to talk about something. Right now, let's see, what time is it? Okay, so either soon or right now, the Grammys are starting. I have zero interest in watching the Grammys. I really never had. The last time I even cared remotely about well, let's rephrase. The time I cared most about the Grammys was, what was that? What song was that? Point is, the year that Rush was, you guys help me out. Just let me know what it is. The year Rush was nominated for Best Instrumental. But Eric Johnson was also nominated that year. So I want to think it was from Counterparts. Was it Leave That Thing Alone, maybe? I'm not... Guys, help me out. When Rush didn't get the Grammy that year, and Eric Johnson was, I believe, by the way, I've not talked about Eric Johnson, the guitar player. I love Eric Johnson. The guy's brilliant and amazing. So... And we could talk about that sometime too, right? The whole G3 tour, Satriani, Eric Johnson, and oh, come on, Eric. Satriani, Eric Johnson, who are the guys? Oh, Steve Vai. Come on, Steve Vai. I love Steve Vai as well. All right, so my best friend Joel, he's a huge Satriani fan. So anyway, yeah, Eric Johnson, I believe that one year they were both nominated, and that what a choice. Of course, I would not rush to win it, but yeah, help me out there. What year was that? So if you guys know, let me know. Alan, hey buddy. Yes, hands down, you're right. Well said, my friend. What are Grammys? Exactly. Exactly. I could go on a rant right now about the state of music, and I use air quotes around that word. In the state of rock, even worse. Rock has been dead and buried. I swear it was intentional. Some kind of corporate kind of conspiracy to get rid of rock and roll. Rock. Especially progressive rock. But yeah, the state of music. Let's just say I think it sucks. All right? And it goes beyond computers. And we've had computers involved. Click tracks, drum machines, sequencers, and the abuse of Pro Tools, and not to mention auto-tuning. Between Pro Tools and auto-tuning and drum machines, right, you can take someone who can barely speak and then turn them into a pop star. I guess that really says it all. What I think about the modern state of so-called music. And therefore, when the Grammys represent that, and they're honoring this garbage, then that's what I think of it. Man, hate me if you want, but that's just what I think. But I believe and I love real artistry, talent. Remember the good old days when it took talent to make music? When you would slave over a part for just one song, and you had to nail it because those recorders are laying down to tape over here, and the best you could do was maybe cut and splice that, or mix it on a board, but there were no computers at that point. At some point, yes, we began digitizing our music in real time. And that transition was what, mid to late 80s, I think, when we started transitioning from analog to digital. And we had kind of a hybrid system for a while before we went full digital and full digitally recorded. But the tech had to catch up. I also know quite a bit about Pro Tools because Avid bought them. And as an Avid guy who used to sell Avid and represent Avid systems, Pro Tools was also, it was the stepbrother, the brother system to Avid systems. So of course I'd be the Avid Symphony, Avid Media Composer, Film Composer guy, but in the same room or down the hall would be Pro Tools systems, all connected over the shared storage network, our Unity shared storage network. I'm getting into the weeds here, but that is to say I know quite a bit about Pro Tools. Can I use it? No, not really. Could I learn it in a day? Yeah, because I can edit video, I could learn that. But I brought all of that up to say that, yeah, the tech had to evolve and get to a point, both for video and audio. Video requires massive bandwidth. It used to be SCSI drives, literally a RAID of SCSI drives from 4 to 8, all raided together as one, because the more drives you have connected, and then they're all being written at the same time. Say you have 4 drives. When I'm writing those video files to all 4 drives simultaneously, imagine 4 lanes in the highway. And those 4 lanes can carry 4 lanes of traffic at once. That's the gist of bandwidth in computers and drives. That's just the gist of it. So, but audio requires much less bandwidth. However, it's sampling. Video's only from 30 frames, 60 frames, or 24 frames for film-based, that many. But audio has like 16,000, 32,000 or more samples per second. And that requires extremely fast data writing and reading simultaneously. So the storage needs are similar because of the read-write process of audio. It's not about bandwidth per se. It's about being able to that synchronous read-write relationship between the drive and the audio files. Okay, there's the weeds for you. I say all of that to say, coming back to what we were speaking, is that, yeah, when all that caught up and we went digital, and we've seen it even in our favorite music, the reliance on technology, but as long as creativity doesn't suffer. Geddy it was always up with the latest technology. Let's see, Dan Loving Music. Hey, Matt. Anyone new in here? Hey, Alan. Good. You guys are talking it up. I'm just checking out. Let's see, place to discuss. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. If anyone's talking about what I was just talking about, that's cool. But again, I was deep in the weeds. Forgive me. I can circle back to Rush. Rush is a musician's band. I think that's why most people didn't get Rush, because most listeners aren't musicians. Well said. The musicians knew who they were, and most of them Rush way ahead of their time. Amen. And that's a great segue into what I was talking about, that Geddy and Rush in general, right? Neil always kept up with the latest technology. When he adopted, the back part of his drum set, the electronic drums, he kept up with those, right? The different roll-ins, but also Alex, of course, with his guitar tech, all the different pedals and guitar, basically the little, as Geddy calls them, the computers and synthesizers that he feeds his guitars through. But also Geddy, though, right? In the synthesizers. From the earliest days, you guys have seen the footage, and we've heard some of that early stuff, from 2112 all the way on up, especially through the 80s. All that it's digital tech, right? It's instead of a classic piano, it's a synthesizer. In a synthesizer, you can have anything sampled to it. You could have cow sounds. You can have different moo sounds through the different scales of the piano and stuff. But I digress. But I say all that to say this. Geddy had the talent. Alex had the talent. Neil had the talent. Hard won, hard fought, hard work. And that's why they're so good. It doesn't matter what they're playing on per se. It really doesn't. As long as there's talent there to write a complicated beautiful song, right? Still, a lot of us, maybe the 80s synthesizer years weren't our favorite. And maybe we were excited when Presto came around and then Roll the Bones. And we started kind of going back to that three-piece sound and synthesizers were pushed back. That's kind of the general consensus. Am I right? You guys let me know. But that is kind of the consent. Neil, hey, buddy. I am now. Yes. I started all this, guys, and I talked for a couple of minutes to say, hey, Neil, thank you. Oh, hey, audiophile, thanks for joining. Hemisphere is fantastic. I should go grab my. You know how I have an album with both parts of Hemispheres on it. Guys, thank you for being here. Power Windows. You know what? I love the '80s stuff, and that's the thing. I want to say this as politically correct as possible, but why start now? But I think that those of us who truly appreciate Rush appreciate every era. Is that the best way to say it? Without talking anyone down or not. Meaning 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and beyond, I love and respect so many songs throughout the entire catalog, right? Because Geddy put it a great way. We came along in whatever experiment they took on their musical journey. We were there. And maybe it wasn't our favorite, but we knew that we allowed them to progress. It's progressive rock. And so, Neil, hey, man. Well, you know what? I am recording this, and it will be available later if you wanted to see the beginning. So, Neil, yeah. Yeah, so let me circle back to that. I hate that term. Let me get back to what I was talking about just a second ago with when I started this stream is, guys, just be gentle on me. It's my first time. And that's when I talked about how I've been an Avid editor for 30 plus years, an Avid instructor, certified the whole nine. So I know how to edit and I know live production. I've done a lot of live production, but this whole marrying of the two and then trying to be the on-air talent at the same time, I'm new to this. Tonight's kind of a test. This is a test, guys. And I'm trying the best I can. But man, and that's why for you guys to be here for my little experiment, thank you. The Loudboy Experiment. That's what this is. Tonight's definitely a test. Meaning I want to make sure the tech works. I want to make sure I'm streaming. And that you guys are here for this, amazing. Amazing. It's going to get better, right? Like anything, it's going to get better over time, or at least I'm going to make sure it does, because I want to do this often and get together and have a meeting. So let's see, test for love it, audiophile test for Eric. I love it. Let's see, can I get something for that? All right, could you guys hear that? Let me know if you just heard a sound effect. Hold on, I'm gonna see what I mean. Yeah, this is definitely test for Eric. Hold on, I'm let's see, can I get something for that? It did work. Okay, cool. I'm monitoring right here on the laptop, the stream. Look at that, guys. First time out, test for Eric. Love it. Dude, that's awesome. Barry, hey. Grace Under Pressure is phenomenal. Between the Wheels. There's a lot of other songs, but that one always comes to mind. That haunting beginning to it. So, Barry, nice one, bro. Here we go. Let's do it again. Yeah, I'm cheering you guys. Thank you, brothers. Look at that. Sound. I know, they're just sound effects, right? But I got to tell you guys, so in front of me, I have this, right? This is my second one. My mom got me 2 of them for Christmas so I could do live streaming. I have my little stream deck. And earlier, I would have come on 2.5 hours earlier today. But for the first time, I'm like, oh, crap. I got to program my stream deck. So I have buttons over here, and I have a laugh track as well. So, when Eric says, oh, you know what? My wife told me to buy a guitar in Vegas, signed by Geddy, Alex, and Neil. That's right. We found a guitar in Vegas, signed by all 3. And this dumb guy, he didn't buy it. See? I hope you heard that. That was supposed to be a laugh track. Here, let me... So anyway, I'm listening to myself now. I got to stop doing that. So Barry, thank you for being here. Abba Baba TV, I can hear. All right, cool. Thank you. Thank you. There was my laugh track. All right, I just heard it. See, this tonight's a test for Eric. Thank you. And I'm making sure that everything's working. So, yes, just to recap earlier, I was in Vegas with my wife, and I'm the idiot who didn't buy that signed guitar. Okay, sorry for that recap. So we were talking about technology, we were talking about Geddy, and all that kind of stuff. Guys, your comments, and I thought about reading a bunch of them, and I might still. Would you guys like me to read some? Because what I wanted to do is possibly read some of the comments from what we got and respond to them. But there are some other topics that I want to discuss, though, and again, bear with me. This is my first time, and see, again, as my first time, you guys are my very generous audience that's putting up with me doing this for the first time. In that, I'm not used to this, and what do I mean by that? With editing, I can cut out the part where I might pause and stuff. I feel like I have to talk constantly and give you like rapid fire stream of consciousness and not actually take a breath. All right, let's do this. Some of you were actually surprised by how funny Alex is, sure. Yeah, yeah. I've heard that a lot. Alan, that story, let's go there for a second. Alan wrote, a friend turned me on to Rush in 75 and he was hooked. A Rush junkie was born. I'm the same story. You guys in your comments have told me this repetitively over and over and over again, and I love it. I love the fact that we all have our origin story that day when we first hear our first Rush. And it doesn't matter what age we are. I've heard a lot of early to mid-teens. I was 14. The year was 1988. I was a drummer, and I'd been drumming since like fourth grade, and here I was in what, eighth or ninth grade ish. But a guy named Billy moved up from Texas, and I lived in rural Vermont, but we had an amazing music program though, a really great band director, a great music program, and again I had a different. Of course, band director in elementary school, but by the time, then I went to a regional junior high to high school. It was called Otter Valley Union High School, right? And imagine that though, 7th graders through 12th graders. Believe me, it wasn't easy. The place was a war zone. Literally packs of kind of gangs. It's just basically aimless, bored white kids that don't even have the internet yet. Let's just put it that way. Sorry, race doesn't matter. I'm just telling you that we're in rural Vermont. You can do the math. So I'm in rural Vermont. Music programs, amazing and stellar. Billy moves up. The guy, let me backtrack some. He was an amazing drummer. And let me just tell you why. He could play Neil Peart's at the time circa Show of Hands, the rhythm method solo. He could play that and did in our jazz band concert. We'd play one of our jazz numbers, right? And maybe I'd be over here on snare or something, but we actually had a set up behind the jazz band. And, so I was one of the multiple drummers trying to just play some kind of percussion during the song, right? You don't really need much more than a drum set. And Billy took the stage. And so in the middle of a song, just like in the middle of a Rush song, where they cut and right into a drum solo, we'd cut, boom, Billy would play the rhythm method. The kid was in high school. And I know we've seen some phenomena now on YouTube, but to play a Neil Peart solo back then, there's no YouTube, it was phenomenal. So I had no idea who Rush was. Not a clue. I was stuck in the doldrums. I was listening to Top 40. I may have had 5150. That was one of my first exposures to like some pretty good rock. I love 5150 and I love the Hagar years. That's a whole discussion. Do you like Hagar? or do you like David Lee Roth? So, point is, we're getting in his truck. He had a white Nissan pickup truck. It's after jazz practice. I think we're going back to his house. He had his own drum set there. Our parents were both friends. So the point is, I'm going over to his house for the afternoon after school. I get in the truck, and I pull up the little tape thing. Back then we had cassette tapes. Maybe it held 12, right? A row of cassette tapes. And I pull that up. It's Rush, 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 Rush. It's full of Rush. And I'm thinking, what is this? It wasn't soon after he starts playing some Rush. My mind's blown. But the day that solidified that, the one that mirrors so many of your stories that you guys have shared with all of us, is the day I got, of course, back then, Columbia House, right? You could get tapes through Columbia House, that whole rip-off scam thing. But, you get some free music. But I got 2112. In fact, it's over here on my shelf. I still have my original 2112 tape. I put that on my dad's, Sanyo stereo. And I press play, and the Space Downs are going, the first hits of the band. Anyway, it changed everything, right? A Rush junkie ever since. It was 2112, circa 1988. And like so many of you, from that day, I was a Rush fan. Rest of my life. Fast forward to now, where we are so honored and to be together. Rod and Donna, hey, still, yeah, me too. Thank you for sharing that. Rick and Backer, hey man, thanks for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cool, got some more people in here. Thank you guys. So yeah, I discover Rush, I get 2112, but like so many of you though, it becomes this amazing treasure hunt to get all the albums. To get everything before 2112 and up until what, Hold Your Fire, right? Would be the latest one at that point. Yeah, because the first one I bought brand new, I believe, it would have been Presto. Well, right around that time. It's either Presto or Roll of Bones, my first actually CD of Rush. But that treasure hunt to get all of Rush's catalog. And at that point, as this brand new Rush junkie, it is a fix. And you get to dive in and learn this catalog of amazing music. I mean, it was amazing time. Amazing. It was the discovery, just like that part of 2112, the discovery. It was the discovery of all of that amazing music. And then learning, what do I like best? And just, what a time. What a time, guys. I'm sure a lot of you had the same thing from the day you discovered and then just building your catalog. And then, of course, through the years, replacing the cassette tapes with CDs and, getting CDs. And what's great is, I don't know about you, but I was too young to have vinyl, Rush. So when Rush re-released their vinyl, and I've mentioned this before, of course, I had to get them, the 180, 200 gram vinyl and the reproductions and stuff. And when we can, we'll find them in record stores, originals. But to get those reproductions, to actually have Rush vinyl, because I was too young to have it back then. Because right over here on the shelf, it's literally this entire shelf is this wide. It's all Rush. Yeah. Rush, Geddy, Victor's over there, The Story of Kings. But yeah, it's all Rush. Which easily, you can fill up a shelf with that because of all the live albums, the compilations. My first compilation, of course, was, hold on a second, guys, was Chronicles. I remember the day I got Chronicles. And that was such a cool collection, right? Of course, it had the one track from Presto on it. But to have this kind of, and I know they'd have had collections like that before, but that was my first one, right? A double CD of Chronicles. So cool. I just remember that day. And locally, my record store was Newbury Comics. I lived in Cape Cod, Mass. And they're around Boston all the way out to Cape Cod. Newbury Comics was, a comic store, some toys, records, and albums. And then, of course, back then we had the long boxes, right? Do you remember that? Guys remember the long boxes? And the cardboard boxes and the CD being the bottom of it. But that was a great transition, by the way. The people who made us get rid of that, I have a beef to pick with you. But yeah, whatever. They made us get rid of long boxes. That's what I've heard. But the point is, though, to get that long box, why was that cool? it was a great transition from LPs, especially cassettes, but it was kind of a throwback that we actually had some good size artwork that represented the album. You know what I mean? That's what those gave us. And then, oh, gone, right? What, too many trees? I'm sorry, but don't trees regrow? I mean, since when is that a limited resources? That Okay, I did not mean to get on that tangent, but I'm just ticked off. Here's what's cool. In my closet, right over here to my left, I still have like the front and backs of many of those long paper boxes that came with the CDs. Yeah, can you say hoarder much? So, let's see. Stargazer, hey, good to hear from you. By Torn Snow Dogs, such a cool song. Whoa. All that kind of, yeah. 10 years old. Okay. Let's see, who else do we have? Anyone new? Let's see, Rick, Barry, Matt. I have Chronicles on Laserdisc. Dude, that's cool. Matt Baker has Chronicles on Laserdisc. We are blessed to grow up as their creations inspired countless humans. Well said, Stargazer McMillan. We are blessed to grow up as their creations inspired countless humans for the betterment of mankind. Apologies for butchering that. Beautifully said. Check it out in the Tommy's Rockin' Experience. I love it. Nice name, dude. I have a proto vinyl copies of Rush, Crest of Steel, All the World's a Stage. A Farewell to Kings, and a few more. Nice. Promos. Cool, dude. I had Chronicles on cassette. I never had that. I had the CD version. That's cool, Neil. Paul, thank you for joining us, Paul. My husband at 44 died. Hey, Paul wrote, my husband, 44 years, died at 10 a.m. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I'm almost going to cry. Just, yeah, I'm a bit emotional right now because, the two plane crashes, right? The collision over DC, the crash in Philadelphia, right? Two of my kids were out of town. My daughter was out in Salt Lake City for a film festival out there, for Sundance or whatever it is. She was there. She's a film major like me. And my son was actually down here near us and then flew back to North Carolina. But the point is, while we're having so much airline turbulence, if all these tragedies happen, my kids are gone, right? And I start flashing back thinking, I've flown that exact commuter flight in and out of DC 100 times during my traveling years. So yeah, I've been a little bit on edge. And so thank you for sharing that, Paul. I'm sorry for your loss. That's where I've just thought about a lot about mortality in the past few days. And guys, thank you for sending some nice notes. I'm sorry for your loss. Jody, not Paul. The point is, you lost someone, right? Forgive me if I'm not reading all the details correctly. So guys, thank you for giving your condolences. We've already spoken on this episode about Neil passing. So I'm already a little on edge. Anytime I have to revisit those deep emotions that come with losing Neil, and I'm not likening this. Losing a loved one is worlds apart. So I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is, when you shared this with us, thank you for sharing that. That's a level. Wow. And thank you guys for giving your love and support back. But what I'm saying is, I'm on edge because I've already been talking about loss. Then feeling the potential loss and having the relief of my daughter home and my son back in North Carolina. And me knowing that, wow, I've flown that exact flight. Point is, I've been thinking a lot about that. And then you hit me with that. I'm sorry, you shared that with us. Forgive me. Yeah, that kind of hit me. So guys, thank you for, we've talked a lot. I've talked a lot about this being a Rush family. Number one, When you watch that Dinner with Rush, you guys have probably seen it, of course, right? Long before I shared it. It's nothing new. You watch that Dinner with Rush, you see that friendship. Brothers, a family. That's the original Rush family right there. They had an extended family of their road crew, management, of course, their wives and kids. This Rush family, this external Rush family. But then you and I, that we're here now, sharing our love and appreciation, celebration, and memory of Neil and Rush. That's kind of like this extended Rush family. And that's why I use that term. It means a lot that we can share these deeply personal things together. Imagine, because, this has allowed a connection that otherwise would not exist. And that's why I'm truly honored that you're here. But you guys are honoring and celebrating each other. And so, again, this isn't about me. I'm just a conduit. So, guys, thank you. So, yeah, thank you for saying that. Okay. So, a lot of you were surprised about how funny Alex is. And it was. And when I set out to make this recent video, I knew most of this footage already, and I'm compiling it together, and I'm kind of looking for links and how I can kind of, but yeah, my goodness sakes, is Alex funny. Neil called him the funniest man on earth, and you guys have shared that sentiment with him, and one of you even said like he would have been great on a comedy. Yeah, he would, on like some kind of comedy program, and of course we've seen him on Trailer Park Boys. We've seen him in that segment with Paul Rudd and Jason Segel for I Love You Man. We've seen some kind of the acting side, but you know what? That's not what I have a feeling that Alex is more of a guy who has the ability to do improv in the moment, which is my favorite kind of comedy. It's something I understand completely. Like, I've never been able to tell a joke. I can't remember a joke if you ask me to remember a joke. And when someone tells me a joke, I never know the punchline. So I don't understand jokes. I don't do jokes. However, around my friends and family, I can make people laugh for a long, because I know it's just based on evidence, not bragging, but because I look for moments, and that was never always that way. A lot of times comedians are some of the saddest or people that are in the most pain that you'll find. And what they do is they mask and they build up barriers and they use comedy as a way to filter that. And there's truth there. I deal with a lot of pain in my life. And you guys, and you haven't seen, I actually hold back so much here on camera of, trying to be funny. And I'm better in an interpersonal thing. And again, this isn't about me. I'm just trying to relate who Alex I think he is. He knows in that moment instinctively how to be funny. He'll find that little nugget of something and just run with it. And I love that so much. And therefore, when you put him in a scripted environment, we don't get the full effect of Alex. At least in my estimation. So again, Dan Loving Music, they were all great friends. Yes, they were. Hey, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing that. Dimebag Coins. I can cover it, my best friend. Whoa. I can cover Rush. And my best friend was buried in a Rush t-shirt. And we played Rush. Wow. You guys are hitting me hard today. So Dimebag Coins. I can cover Rush, by the way. Awesome. That's not easy to do. And my best friend was buried in a Rush t-shirt, and we played Rush, Closer to the Heart, at the funeral. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. He wasn't bad on Trailer Park Boys. I hear you, Rick. You're right. See, love is the only satisfactory answer to the question of man's existence. That's completely true. Yeah, love is everything. Yeah. And without it, we're nothing. Man, it sounds like a horrible greeting card, doesn't it? Apologies. I'll try to refrain from Hallmark stuff like that. Forgive me. But no, in all seriousness, you're right. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I know. I don't want to go down that or fly down that airspace right now about all this airline stuff. I have thoughts and theories and concerns, as we all should. I do my best not to be political or even too topical. This is about Rush. All I'm going to say is that when you when we have heard about multiple airline instances in a row, you have to start looking for patterns. That's all I'm going to say. Meaning it's a concern. What the heck's going on? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying about any conspiracy theory, but when you hear this and hear this, and then that happens, and just a United flight today, they had to get off because they were about to take off and the plane's on fire. What's going on? So yeah, that's okay. And everyone's like logging right off of the stream now. Okay, I'm out. I see Mega 502. I saw Rush in 77. Farewell to Kings, August 21st, 77. Nice. I was 3 years old. Good for you, dude. The trees, the priest, nice. Hold on. I have a signed. You have a signed CD by Neil? So this is Jody. Okay. So you got it. Thank you, Jody. Right? I got it. That's awesome. Signed by Neil. What? No. What CD? Let me know. Stargazer. Freaking background. Okay. We are the priests. Yes. Temple of Syrinx. All right. So I've told this song. I've told this before, but I might tell it again. And forgive me if you've heard it before, but insane what happened. I'm a huge Rush fan. I'm a couple years into my Rush journey, and we had an old Ford Aerostar. We're on vacation. It's my family, my mom and dad in the front, my sister in the middle, me and my best friend in back. Actually, my sister had her friend, so there's like multiple kids in back, my parents up front. I put on 2112, okay? There were no phones or Walkman or iPods back then or anything like that. At least I didn't use my Walkman. I play it through the audio system of the van. When it gets past track 1 into track 2, Temples of Syrinx, my dad hears that over the road noise and the insanity of the kids, and he thought it said, "We are the priests of the devil." Yeah, he thought I was listening to devil worship. Here's a little tidbit about my dad. My dad, I grew up at PK, a preacher's kid. And by the way, the old joke is we're the worst. There's some truth in that. I've had my time. But the point is, I've grown up since then. But my dad was a preacher, right? So the thought that his son might be listening to some kind of devil music because we are the priests. He thought they were saying we are the priests of the devil. And again, like I've said before, I was like the Flash. I was in that front thing. I was opening up the tape, and I'm like, "Dad, Temples of Syrinx." I kept reading and showing him that like I had to prove that it wasn't the devil worship. So anyway, so when you say we're the priests, I'm harking back to that. So thank you for Warlock. Alex rules. Yes, he does. And it's easy to say that Alex is underrated, and yet not among us, right? We know who Alex is and what he can do. And few guitar players in the world could keep up with compositionally and playing live and writing music with the likes of Geddy and Neil for 40 years. Alex is a beast. He does rule. Well said. Tommy's rocking Warlock like a force of nature. Love can fade with the star. Oh, I love that line. The speed of love. Very nice. Yeah, so I'm not the only one who wrote it in Aerostar. I hear you, Matt. You're also a preacher? What is it with preachers and Aerostar? And what's funny is we lived in the North, right? And for our type of non-denominational church, there was not local support. We didn't, some Sundays, it was just me and my family at church. So that's the way I grew up, right? In the smallest church that you can imagine. Some Sundays it was just us. But my dad was supported by large congregations in the South, the Southern United States. So we would make yearly trips down south, and that's how I got to know the breadth of America, right? All the way from the Hicks of the hills of Vermont to the rednecks of the South. But I say that in joking jest. I don't really think of them. Are there hicks and rednecks? Yes. I think though, you go to any regular small to middle-sized town, you know what? Here in America, but even Canada, in any nation around the world, you get outside, people are normal. That's what I'm trying to say. And I hate labels, and I hate labeling people. Wow, I am digressing down that path, and I'm literally digging a hole right now. I'm going to bury myself in it and put... All right, so off the topic of that, but so we'd go down south, and that's who supported us. So yeah, point is we didn't have a lot of money. Wow, that took forever to get to. And therefore, a friend of ours in another local church owned a car dealership and gave us this amazing deal on an Aerostar. He owed a Ford dealership. Wow, we went around the world for that story. Apologies. Dude, Grayscale, hey man. Grayscale Studios, awesome to hear from you, buddy. One of my early subscribers about a year ago. Happens to be my nephew. Yeah, you're my nephew. Hey, buddy, good to hear from you. I resemble that comment of being a hick from the South. And again, okay, you almost got me off on a tangent. I almost started talking about rednecks again. Yeah, again, I don't like labels, but we know they exist in every part of the country, right? There's some part of the segment that they have some kind of label. Where I was from in the north, they were hicks, right? Enough said. Neil, you're trying to get me in trouble. I know you. Okay, Dan Loving Music. I wonder. Oh, yeah. Thank you. I wanted to talk about that. All right, so Dan Loving Music just asks, I wonder what you think, Eric, and you guys, about the R50 several box sets that just came out. What is it, like 300 and change? It's either 330, 370 something dollars, and it's a massive box set, right? Multiple vinyl, a ton, hardback book, a comic book, or graphic novel. Anyway, you guys see it, right? And I actually almost was going to queue up that video, but you guys just go to Rush on YouTube or rush.com, or heck, there's a small sampling of it now on Instagram. So you can see this in these massive box sets. And then there's a smaller box set, I believe is 7 LPs or 7 vinyls in it. Of course, most of us have this music already. But we could say that of any compilation. I have multiple 40th anniversary versions, both vinyl or CD based, of Rush things. And here's the thing, at the end of the day, I'm happy to buy these again. Not sure if I'm $300, almost $400 happy. If I had the money, I'd buy it right now. Because I'd love to do like an unboxing video. And just share that with you guys. And that's the one reason why I might try to pony that up. Or maybe, let's circle back to that guitar story where I don't get the signed guitar. Maybe if I tell my wife, she'll go, you know what, go ahead and get that. You need to show it. Who knows? But the point is, though, I've always been happy, though, to support Rush. And I mean this in general about music. That in the day of Spotify playlists, in the day of being able to stream music on multiple platforms and all over the place, right? You can stream, quote unquote, for free. And the artists are supported through that. Rush is getting... However, though, the thought of being able to support an artist directly, like we can through the Backstage Club, I've always been a huge supporter of that. Huge. Because, again, Rush has given us so much. And I've been always more than happy to buy their stuff, even to this day. I've made multiple new unboxing videos on this channel. Neil Peart's book, a poster here, this there, a couple of mugs, right here. Bought this Backstage Club. And I still haven't, by the way, guys, you guys probably may have heard the update. I got this in one of my, actually the Neil Peart unboxing video. This is an amazing little blue mug, right? Rush Counterparts, 93. But yeah, it had chip in it. And in that video, I talk about the chip. And if you haven't heard, the Backstage Club, Live Without a Net, emailed me directly. That's right. Out of the blue, I simply made a little joke on camera when I got the chip mug. I undid it from the bubble wrap on camera. You probably already know this, but and oh, it's chipped. And I went, hey, Rush Backstage Club, I need a new one. They contacted me directly and said, hey, have you gotten a new mug yet? And I said no, and I sent them my info, and the guy was awesome, and so that's when I said, Backstage Club takes care of you. That was awesome. That they watched my video. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And then, but also though that they emailed me. Somehow they got my email, and maybe it's on my channel. I don't even remember. And they emailed me. So the point is though, I'm happy to support Rush and or any artist, right? If there are several artists even going still today that I've been, Yes, I love Yes. I have not talked about Yes much on this channel. And we know that even Yes heavily influenced Rush through many different years. And, especially the early years. And I love Yes. I've been a huge Yes fan for almost as long as Rush. And what's really great is I've always been a Yes fan. And then I really love 12 Monkeys, the show. If you haven't checked it out, 12 Monkeys, a time travel show. It was on the Sci-Fi Network. You can get it now on Hulu. All right, the entire 4 seasons, all 47 episodes is on Hulu. If you love time travel, if you love science fiction, please watch 12 Monkeys. It has been a dream of mine, and I still will at some point make a series about 12 Monkeys here on this channel. I want to talk about it. I've actually written a blog about 12 Monkeys on my website. Through multiple of the seasons, and I did kind of episode things and my theories and stuff about time travel and all that kind of stuff. And where am I going with that? Yes, more than happy to support them. Right, I always have been. I have a Yes CD stack that's at least this tall, right? All the way up to almost some of the most recent stuff. And how they tie in together is that 12 Monkeys, the first 2 seasons. The guy from Yes, and I'm blanking out on his name right now. I'm going to lose my voice by the end of this. Guys, help me out. The guitar player that joined in the 80s that wrote some amazing Yes music. It's because I'm live. It's because I'm doing this without a net that I can't think of it. Point is, the guy from Yes actually wrote the music and theme song to 12 Monkeys. That's just mind-bendingly cool. That I was hoping you guys would share his name. I love Porcupine Tree. I love Steven Wilson. Thank you for asking. Where's my Yes? Whatever. I'll get to it another time. Let's just say the guitar player. I was hoping, guys. That's it. Thank you, Trevor Rabin. Audiophile. Thank you. Perfect name, Audiophile. Now we know why you had that name. All right, yeah, so Trevor Rabin, thank you, Barry, wrote the 12 Monkeys theme song and all the thematic and the scores for the first 2 seasons of 12 Monkeys. Perfect union. There's that word union. Guys, I could go off on 1,000 tangents and hey, just buckle in. So, speaking of union, hey, MDU2112, sweet name, dude. Hey, hello from Canada. Thanks for being here, dude. You know what, guys? Thank you for being here. I want to celebrate all of you with this. Guys, thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. All right, so I saw the Union tour. Yeah, that's right. The year that Union came out, that, we had, there were 2 drummers on stage, multiple, I think maybe just the one keyboard player, but we had, all this union of Yes members together. And I got to see the Union tour. That was amazing. And by the way, my mom went with me. Yeah. So my dad got to see R40 with me, and actually in Tears of Fears as well back in the day. But my mom went with me to go see Union because we drove out to Great Woods. It was an outdoor amphitheater. It used to be called Great Woods, and in fact, Rush has played Great Woods before, as Neil called it, whatever big name corporate bank they replaced it with. But at one time, it had a very romantic name, Great Woods. And at Great Woods, Yes played. And that's also where I saw a lot of acts there, from Depeche Mode to Tears for Fears to Yes. And so we see Union, and my mom was tripping over the fact of John up front, right? And he had these white satin flowing robes, as John did, singing his high falsetto. But it was more about just this free floating kind of hippie spirit on stage, right? Just John Anderson, and man, and she was just thought that was the funniest thing, John Anderson. So anyway, yeah, I got to see Union, which means that I'm not sure, was Trevor Rabin part of that? Help me out. I can't reach my CD right now. If so, I've seen Trevor Rabin live. Whew. Can you guys say tangents and side thoughts? All right, let's catch up with your things over here. And again, thank you, Audiophile and Barry. By the way, you can kind of know what part of the country I live in. Got a Sonic cup. Trevor Rabin, that's right. And Barry, thank you. Porcupine Tree is good, but a bit too melted. Oh. Warrior Net. You are my net. Thank you, Stargazer. I know, I've said since the beginning of this cast that I'm live without a net. Dude, my now repaired heart, thank you. All right, thank you. Hey, you're welcome, dude. Man, you guys are amazing. Love to the Canadians. By the way, I'm part Canadian. My grandmother. Here we go, another sidetrack. But has to do with Rush, right? My grandmother is, quote, French Canadian, well, from the French province and area of Canada. And I told this story recently, I think, where her dad was this fiercely big and independent lumberjack, right? Her husband, my papa, was also that kind of way, right? And it reminds me of Home on the Strange, yeah, because I was talking about Geddy's album. So, that Canadian, the Canadian outlaw, whatever the lyric is, love that song. Because again, it touches home so quickly. But yeah, I'm part Canadian because my grandmother's side came from there. I won't get into the rest of my DNA profile, but the point is I am part Canadian, and heck, I grew up in New England, right? We used to take field trips to Montreal. That's how close we were, like day field trips to go to Montreal. What stinks is we never went to Toronto. As an adult, however, while I'm traveling around the US and Canada for the TV and film industry, it's my easy way to put it, I got to go to Toronto. And I got a picture of the iconic cover of Moving Pictures. I almost want to grab my album right here. I'm going to grab it. All right. Hanging on my wall is this. I know you guys are probably going to scourge, rip me up for what I've done, but nothing has been damaged here, save for the fact that Mike Mangini and John Petrucci have signed this. That meant a lot to me. I do like Dream Theater. I've heard some negativity about Dream Theater on this channel, but I do like Dream Theater. I'm going to see Dream Theater in less than 14 on Valentine's Day this month. Okay, in about 2 weeks-ish. I'm going to be down in Houston to see Dream Theater, their 40th anniversary tour. But for the Images and Words 25th anniversary tour, I'm down in Texas again. You can actually see the reflection of my laptop. There you go, guys. I'm down in Texas, 25th anniversary of Images and Words. My friend Joel surprised us with tickets and to meet Dream Theater, and we did. Of course, Fortnite wasn't with him. And by the way, I love Mike Mangini. I think he's brilliant and amazing. And by the way, I used to teach at Berklee School of Music up in my neck of the woods where I grew up. So I've always dug that guy. I love that guy. So yeah, that's who signed this. I thought it was a perfect marriage. Excuse me. Hold on. Before I started this, I said, Mel, my wife, I said, I'm going to go as long as my voice holds out. So, when I'm going, oh, all right, guys. When I'm to that point, we'll sign off. Okay? As long as my voice holds, we'll keep talking. If you guys are cool with it. Dude who just Do Don't get leaked, bro. Be careful. What is that? Hey, what does that mean, Grayscale? Okay, my son is spamming me right now, guys, from one of my accounts. Yes, thank you, Nathan. Um, okay, that was my son. EL Gardner's some other account I have. He uses that to log in. He must be watching my live stream. Now I feel bad about. Anyway, but hey, Stargazer, thank you. Thank you for the 5. Thank you, man. Oh, Stargazer. That means a lot, man. That means a lot. And you guys, you know, you guys have changed everything. The whole trajectory of my life. I've spoken a lot about. Let me turn that off. Sorry, I didn't mean to have the chair going for 10 minutes. Forgive me on that. Oh, okay. That's Grayscale's telling him to stop. All right, you're right, Grayscale. I shut him down, I think. Okay, guys. My son is spamming me from the other room. I've already said that. So sorry about that, guys. You could get leaked if you show your computer in the reflection. Oh, I could get leaked? Okay, I know what you mean, though. I don't think I have anything too sensitive on here. No, it kind of freaked me out. Um, okay, I'm going to get sidetracked on that. Grayscale, I hear you. I see you. I understand you. And security is a big thing for me. I'm concerned about it. Heard. Thank you. Okay. Dude, don't make me think about that. I love you, bro, but don't make me think about that. I mean, I'm all sidetracked, and these poor people are making me like, okay, deer in the headlights here. Okay, what do we got here? All right, hey, dude, Alan, welcome to Starman, Alan. Thank you so much. Thank you for, oh, dude, thank you. And on that note, Alan, I guess just joined, and it's my first one. So thank you. And guess what? Yes, I'm going to have exclusive content if you guys want to join. I'm not here to like promote myself on that level. I mean, that's not who I am. And at least I don't think I am. It means a lot that you with your support. So Alan, Stargazer, thank you. Oh my goodness. But I'm not one to go like be slamming you. I mean, you notice in my videos, you don't hear me talking and having graphics constantly about, subscribe and do all this and please like it. I might mention it from time to time. But I feel like if you guys want to join the ride and be part of this, you will. And it feels more organic and real that way and natural. Does that make sense? I hope I'm saying that the right way. Therefore, I'm not this over promote. All right, you ready for this? All right. So like some of the people on YouTube, Instagram, wherever, okay, like, hey guys, how you doing? Make sure to smash the like button. You gotta subscribe. And then they talk for 3 minutes. Make sure to subscribe. Get a like it. Okay, I'll promise to never do that voice again. But I wanted to illustrate what so much of this is like, right? I'm going to regret that little comment, and I swear that's going to come back to haunt it. But you know what? That's not me. And you guys would disrespect me, meaning you would not respect me anymore. You got me. I've said enough. Done. Saw Dream Theater at the Paramount and Images and Word tour, and oh man, yeah, it is so long ago. And thank you for bringing that star. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it, bro. Neil, I pushed up. I know you do, Neil. Neil, you're one of Neil. I've told you many times in comments, and I'll say it here publicly. Neil, Alan, and others. Forgive me, I can't name you all at the moment, but you guys are actively promoting me. Come on, humbled, thankful. That's all. I'm humbled and thank you. And I mean it when I call you guys my friends. I've never had a lot of friends. My closest friend in the world is in Texas. He's a chair of a physics department. Why do I say that? I say that because it's cool. It's crazy that my insane friend who played guitar in my band in college, right, we're roommates, my best friend, is now a doctor and runs a physics department at a university. That's why I mention his credentials, because in my brain, it's like cognitive dissonance. I'm like, Joel? Gilberto? What? That was my nickname. I could go off on that tangent, but I won't. Alan, dude, see, Rush, yes, they are, hands down. Yeah, and supporting the Rush family, totally supporting the Rush family. That's not mine. I've kind of taken that on, that mantle, meaning using that term. And that really came from Rush family tourneys, which I don't see much posting anymore. I don't know where they've gone, but we still use collectively, especially Vivian 2112. Love you, lady. And maybe you'll see this at some point. I don't think you're in the chat room at the moment, but Vivian over at Twitter. And by the way, I'm going to call it Twitter from now on. I don't like X. I'm over there at Loudboy2112 is my username. If you want to follow me on Twitter, right? I gotta make sure. Loudboy2112 might be Instagram. I'm such a bonehead. I'm checking this in real time, guys. Here we go. See what I mean? I suck at promotion. This is proof. It's Loudboy 7K. All right, Loudboy 7K. Loudboy number 7 and K, as in 7,000. Loudboy 7K at Twitter if you want to follow me. If you don't, whatever, it's cool. See, yeah, I'm really good at promotion. So anyway, and that's why, guess what? Because I'm such this mastermind with promoting myself, that's why I'm so humbled and thankful that you guys have actively taken steps to promote me, to promote us in this channel and what we're doing and building here, which is a great segue back to Twitter. The Rush family, that hashtag, I've been using it for years. And Rush family tourneys, that was I believe, their call sign over at Twitter. They would, of course, always use the Rush family. So again, I've kind of adopted that. That's not my original, but I like it. And it fits. It seems to kind of speak to who we are collectively. Okay? This brotherhood and sisterhood of people that enjoy, celebrate, and like Rush. And again, our likes and our loves go beyond Rush. Of course they do. But it kind of speaks to who we are. And so I just want to speak to that for a moment. Hey, thank you, Grayscale. One of the few channels I share thoughts on. No social. Yeah. Again, I'm not a big social media guy either. You have a Rush tribute band, Alan? Well, hold on. Have you said what it is? If you haven't, let us know, Alan. Okay. So I actually had pizza. What, you had pizza with Portnoy in Chicago when they toured together. Vinny taught my son how to. No way. Found you recently. Share you with the Rush family. I know. I love your videos. Great work. Thank you, Alan. Thank you. You know what? When I make cracks about my now fixed heart. If you don't know, I've mentioned the neck surgeries and how that altered my life and made me lose my my career in TV and film. It eventually led to that. That's why, and on that note, I gave this entire story earlier. Earlier I mentioned how I worked in TV and film. I mentioned the conventions I went to every year and and I've mentioned a few times now, but that was my dream job, my dream career, working in this medium. To lose that to health concerns broke me. And again, it was right before Clockwork Angels and that time period. But this is a full circle moment. I went to college with the dream of being a film director. I've written screenplays, I've written a novel, and I've never gotten to actually direct a proper movie, although my sister and I made a couple shorts. But losing that career in that space, I went through a lot of dark years. I was lost. I was angry. I was in pain, literally, emotionally, spiritually. A lot of dark years. I eventually came out of that. And after my jobs, I went from everything from that, traveling North America, working in TV and film, to job after job after job. I couldn't quite do it. Worked at a bank, or worked here, tried here. I tried Chicago. I tried St. Louis. I was away from my family. I couldn't sustain that. And then finally, it got so bad, if you will. And this is not a knock on anyone who works there. I was working in a gas station. People come up to buy their smokes and stuff. Like I need $10 and pump two, and that was rock bottom. And that's when we remembered that multiple bosses along the way, multiple managers, the people under whom I worked, said to my wife and me, Eric needs to be on disability. Not once in my brain, since losing my career, did I think about disability. Not once, even though I needed it. Not once. Because that's not who I am. I work. If I can, I will. And I did. Until it kind of got rock bottom. And for a guy who used to use his mind, I traveled all over North America with what was in here. My knowledge of TV and film. No equipment, just whatever's in my brain. I'd walk into a room, do my job, and I could walk out and fly home. That's the ultimate job for me, just using my mind. And then to be working in a gas station and doing that, for me, was rock bottom. I applied for disability after and I got it like that. I got one phone call from disability agency. They said, hey, Mr. Eric, we are finishing up your paperwork. We'll have you good to go. That's it. I had a doctor's note. I had all this history. I needed it. I still do. So I say all that to say thank you to you. For a kid who went to college, and even in high school, I dreamed of making TV and film, to actually having the career, losing everything, so many dark years, to now where we have this and share this. That's what this means to me. That's how heavy and important this is to me. I hope that makes sense. And I feel even weird saying all this to you because I don't like things to be about me. But I wanted to share the story only to say thank you. That's all. Okay. Again, that was way too much, Eric. Sorry. But I wanted to share that with you, and I appreciate you guys so much. See, Alan, yes. Dan Loving Music. You just got, wow. You were 40. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. I want to talk about that. Since then, I saw them 5 times. Yeah, I love Dream Theater too. Okay. Take this the right way, even with Portnoy back. Okay. Got it? Yeah. I have some, yeah. Oh my goodness. I want to say something right now. Have you guys seen the thumbnail on YouTube? Because the Drumeo and where the drummers play, they hear for the first time a certain artist. Have you seen the one where Portnoy hears Taylor Swift for the first time? Can you say "Jump the Shark"? Of course I won't watch it. A, I don't want to vomit because it's Taylor Swift. But B, because what? Okay. I still like Portnoy. I love John Petrucci. John's my boy. Oh, Jordan Rudess and keyboards. Come on. Love Mike Mangini. I mean, and now John on bass, my own. Anyway, I'm a huge fan of Dream Theater. Huge. And I can't wait to see them again. But dude, you can do better than that. Whoever came up with the idea for Portnoy, let alone any drummer worth his street cred, to play Taylor Swift? I just want to walk out of this room right now. Okay. Ooh. I'm going to get some... Of course, among you guys, I'm not going to get any hate mail, will I? I think you got me. Enough said, man. See, stream of consciousness. You guys, this is unfiltered. I'm reading your stuff, all right? So, Peter. Hey, Peter. Welcome aboard, bro. Oh, good. Oh. Any Triumph fans? I don't know much about Triumph. Should I check Triumph out? Different Stooges? Love it. The Three Stooges theme song. They, of course, Rush used that as their intro music to their, you guys know that. So I get your reference. And of course, different stages. Beautiful. Great name, dude. Like it. Very good. I see. So got the Triumph. Not a huge Triumph fan, but I like a few of the songs too. Cannot name you one Triumph song. So, should I check them out? I mean, is it worth my time? I don't mean that in a weird way. I just asking. Oh, okay. That's cool, Neil. Love Portnoy, even if he likes the spot. Heard. I still like Portnoy too. Okay. It's just I see stuff like that, right? It's like clickbait, and that bothers me some. All right. Okay, Portnoy. Yeah, see, now I'm just hip deep in your comments, which is great. I want to read your stuff. If Rush decided to get another drummer, who? Okay, okay, Rod and Donna, Ryman, right? Ryman. I got into so much trouble with my what is it, R50 tribute videos, right? The second of which, because I made the trilogy, but that was after I did part 1. Part 2 was an answer call to the comments I got from part 1. And in that part 2, which is the middle section of the Rush R50 trilogy, okay, I've said a lot here. Check out the R50 trilogy. Somewhere in the middle, I address this whole Portnoy thing. And should Rush do a reunion tour? I've explained this 1,000 times. Like, my hands are still numb and hurting from the amount of typing I've done in the comments section, having to explain what I was saying. And again, I never thought that Rush should or could or be Rush again without Neil. Of course not. I know Rush is over. There you go. That's the gist. But I started to ask myself, who could possibly play with them in a hypothetical non-Rush version, right? Where the boys just played, they need a drummer. So Portnoy popped in my brain. I'm going to see Dream Theater soon. I've always liked Dream Theater. If I were to list my top 5 bands, Dream Theater might be number 2. Rush, Dream Theater, here you go. I've never listed this, guys, for you guys. My personal faves. Rush, Dream Theater, yes. Living Color, Steven Wilson / Porcupine Tree. By the way, love Living Color. I've been a huge Living Color fan ever since Vivid and Cult of Personality. And when I got Vivid, right, I loved Living Color. Vernon Reid, beast. Corey's voice, angelic. The high notes he hits. When you listen to a couple of the live tracks on their Biscuits EP, Corey's just hitting these ultrasonic notes. Okay, the lead singer of Living Color. And I love the new bass player, Will. For Living Color. He had this awesome slap technique on the bass, right? Anyway, huge Living Color fan. Always have been, always will be. All right. So, yeah, so they're like number 4, right? I got to go with Rush, and no one will ever eclipse Rush. Rush, yes. Rush, Dream Theater, yes. Okay, I don't mean to do it again. But the point here is this. Living Color is amazing. And I have no idea where I was going with that. Welcome. Hey, guys, I need you as my net. Yeah, Triumph. Oh, and UFO. Yeah, there are a lot of, quote, classic rock or older rock bands that I haven't even listened to. I tend to be a big, I hate this word, but I'm a snob. I like what I like. I stay in that lane. I know which music satisfies me creatively, lyrically, musically. And there's only so many hours in the day. I have a vast music collection. Don't get me wrong. I still have every CD pretty much that I've ever bought. So they're lining shelves over here. They're in boxes in my closet. So I have every CD. And the concert tickets for every concert I've seen, they're in each respective CD. So of course I still have them. But that is to say, I have certain musical likes, and I haven't ventured into a UFO or a Triumph. I know Journey because of my wife. I know a lot more Beatles because of my wife. I know Eric Clapton because of my wife. She's seen Paul McCartney and Clapton live, by the way. That's pretty sweet. Now, here's way off topic. I've seen, if you know jazz at all, Maynard Ferguson. Look him up. Trumpet player. We went. He was just off Cape one year, so me and my best friends from my high school band slash we had our own school band, but also rock band outside of that. We were big jazz nerds. Okay, I played tenor sax, and but also I had all my trumpet friends too, right? And if you've ever been in band and been friends with or near trumpet players, at least in my band, like Tom and my other friends, their ultimate thing was like hitting that high C to the high E or triple E's, and like how high could they go, right? To a trumpet player, that's like the end all be all of expressing their amazingness. And Maynard Ferguson could do that. So we went to see Maynard Ferguson play live. And he was older at this point. Okay. Again, this is, early 90s. But yeah, he was just hitting these stratospheric notes, just mind blowingly high notes. And what's great is whether you see him or any other like big band slash jazz guy, if they're amazing players, they always have an amazing band with them, right? You don't get chumps to play with a master. And so, anyway, there you go. There's my little journey into jazz land for a second there. But and on that note, as a sax player, because I was a sax player after I was a drummer, my favorite sax player is John Coltrane, hands down. I love Coltrane. Charlie Parker probably be number two, but I think Coltrane is amazing. So I'm a big Coltrane guy. So, all right, let me catch up with snob is good. Thank you, thank you for that. A little bit of validation. I appreciate that. Snob is good. Okay, just making sure we're still on. Okay, I just bumped my keyboard. See what I mean? First time. That's the one part of the net that you're not able to help with. Me accidentally taking us off air. Dude, you've seen Maynard, Peter? Thank you, man. Around 70. Wow. Okay, so that's like 20 years before me. I saw him around circa 92, 93. So, wow, you've seen Maynard. Cool. Try and perform. There is a performance of, on that note. And did you guys just mention it? I'm reading your comments. Hangars. Triumph's a second band behind. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna check out some Triumph. That's from three of you. I love Jethro Tull. Thank you. Right around that top five is Boston. Huge Boston fan. Huge. Huge. Third Stage, masterpiece. It's been on a little notepad over here of potential videos to make at some point. I want to talk about Third Stage. I think Third Stage is a freaking masterpiece by Boston. So yeah, big fan. Yeah, Satriani. Yeah, I brought up Satriani earlier in the whole the G3 tour. Him, Eric Johnson, and Steve Vai, the original ones, right? Of course, Wino Petrucci joined at one point. But I also, during that discussion a while ago, I mentioned how I love Eric Johnson. And Eric Johnson is, I just love Eric Johnson. Always loved his work. And, that tone. He plays a beautiful strat, always has. But that tone, right? Oh. And you're listening to Cliffs of Dover, right? First song of via Musicom. And he's doing this run in the beginning of it, right? And there is a, what is it? It's not a triplet. It's like 16 notes in one beat, right? It's just blazingly fast, right? But his tone is just so beautiful. Love Eric Johnson. Yes, Boston. We got to talk more about Boston sometime. If you guys are game, right? There's so much more than Rush we can talk about. So yes, I'm glad to see you guys are chiming in around Boston. I hear you, Stargazer. And by the way, I'm running out of tea. This might end earlier than we thought. I need one of those Grubhub things. Let's see. Yeah, so Rush, Genesis. Come on. Yeah. Jethro Tull. I love Jethro Tull. That's from my dad. My dad taught me all about Jethro Tull, Ian Anderson. And, they were huge influencers of so many. Huge. And speaking of, I've always kept Dire Straits in one little box. And that box sounds just like Money for Nothing, right? The one song that we all know, that one riff that is iconic. So when my dad played me a 12-minute version of one of their songs, a live version from sometime in the 80s, it's on YouTube. He played it for me when I was at his house over Christmas. My mind was blown. It was amazing. The drummer was, oh, but yes, the stage presence, the guitar playing, the drumming, Jethro Tull, of Dire Straits. What an amazing performance. And all of a sudden, they broke out of that box and it went up several notches in my estimation, right? So thank you, Dad. Thank you for showing me that video. Yeah, Chicago. I'm glad you mentioned that. Stargazer just mentioned Chicago. In my high school band, again, at some time I'll tell you like my complete musical history because someone wrote a comment. I woke up to it this morning. I kind of checked things. I'm like, oh, and one of the comments was, do I play? Do I just appreciate music or have I played music? And the answer is a resounding yes. Everything from vocally to percussion to piano to sax. And I'll tell that full story sometime. And I told him right here in my shot is my soprano saxophone. That's very real. I no longer have my tenor sax. Story I'd rather not go down, but I'll tell it sometime. Happy to, but not today. So the point is, with regard to music, oh wow, I'm off. I need my net right now. Yes, Sticks. Oh, Chicago. My high school. Thank you. See, you guys are on my net. Thank you, Stargazer. My high school rock band, right? We founded a rock band outside of school bands, but we had horns, right? I'm a sax player. We had a couple of trumpets. Even my friend Boyd was a trombone player. We had we had all the pieces. My friend Matt, who normally played trombone in school band, he played guitar. My other friend had a bass, so he played bass. We practiced in Boyd's basement. So we formed a rock band, but it was a rock band with horns. So naturally, we covered Chicago songs. And I believe the one that I sang was Saturday in a Park. Not a bad song, but come on, I'd rather do, the other song too. But the point is we did Chicago songs, but here's what we did though in this high school band. This isn't Goatmeal, this is my high school band. I don't think we ever settled on a name, by the way. A lot of egos that play in that band. Oh, you have no idea. But we would write horn parts. So we would take, say, Let It Be, and we'd write horn parts. We would, we're doing Beatles covers. We're doing this cover. So whatever music we're covering, we would actually write horn parts to make it into a Chicago-like song. And that was my friend Boyd's dream, is to have a band like Chicago. And we basically did. So yeah, but I got to sing because we covered Hendrix. We had a whole stable of amazing music. Chicago, Hendrix, and was that other big one? But yeah, some Beatles and some other stuff like that. Of course, Rush was never on the table. It wasn't until college. Goatmeal. In our band, Goatmeal, and this was only because I've shown pictures in one of my videos, by the way. I was lead singer. Occasionally, I'd play a sax solo. But basically, it was a three-piece and me singing, so four of us. Three-piece being that my best friend Joel on guitar, Will on his Rickenbacker bass. Joel, by the way, had a beautiful Gibson, right? No, Les Paul. He had a beautiful black Les Paul. Oh, because it reminds you of Alex's guitars, the ones he used. And then my white Rickenbacker, Will played. But then the drummer, right? It's always hard to find a bloody drummer. And of course, during those days, I was way out of drumming. I was a sax player and I was lead singer. I wasn't going to do drumming duty, but we did finally get one. And but we played, to finally get the story going back on track, we played Stick It Out. And this goes back to a comment that one of you said, forgive me if I forget who, Hawaiian bands are fun. Yes, they are. I agree, man. Yeah, Danny Carey's a beast, man. I mean, he's such an amazing drummer, but also the fact that he's just so heavily influenced by Rush. Love Danny. And didn't he play with Geddy and Alex recently? Back on track. So we did Stick It Out. And this goes to that comment earlier. Yeah, it's not easy nailing Geddy's voice. Stick It Out's easier than doing Rush from the 70s. Yeah. But even then, during the chorus, I would sing both parts, right? The answer and call part of Stick It Out. Don't swallow your poison. Don't swallow that whole thing. So, but dream come true. Dream come true to get to cover a Rush song. Oh, anyway, that's one of my highlights of my life, of getting to sing and play, us play a Rush song. It was amazing. So, and I know there's more of you who have done it. Some of you were in tribute bands, so this is like, you're like, but okay, I got to do it once, and it was amazing. So you guys are doing it. Kudos. I cheer you. Thank you for sharing Rush. Thank you for playing Rush. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. See, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yes. Oh, what a great loss, man. An amazing player. Amazing player. My wife and I are friends with Kansas. Okay, that's cool. That's not Carry On My Wayward Son, right? You guys are going to kill me for that one. Yeah, isn't that? Yeah. Why do I love that song? Well, that one's like really close to my heart. Dream Theater, on the Change of Seasons, during their big medley section, they actually play part of Wayward Son, right? It's just great to hear Dream Theater. I mean, so cool. I mean, they play Elton John in there, and I mean, I love that latter live part of Change. Yeah, there we go. Of Change of Seasons. But yeah, Kansas. But also, I've always been a huge fan of Supernatural. I've been watching Supernatural since the first season. That old WB CW show about the guys who'd hunt demons and ghosts and goblins and monsters in the night. Sam and Dean Winchester. As a huge, and every year to start their season and end their season of Supernatural, they'd play Carry On My Wayward Son. And their clip show, or their compilation video of that season to that song, some brilliant television making. Brilliant. Oh, it just a sweet, special place in my heart. Yes, I know your feelings of covering Rush. Was that to me? He's hilarious. Tells a lot of jokes, my wife. I dream of the day I can cover Rush songs in a band. Yes. Yes. We should all do that during our lives. Bucket list. Cover a Rush song. We haven't talked about it yet. Yeah, we did. We talked about the Grammys and stuff. Let's see. So, guys, guess what? I want to make sure I covered everything I wanted to talk about. And, have we covered everything? You guys have graciously gone down a million little side roads through the back streets of, you know where I'm trying to go with that. I'm not doing very well. But I never got to the comments and viewer mail. But you know what? If you guys want to read them, please read them. Look, I probably just need to wrap this up. And I am starting to lose my voice. I'm out of tea, so my minutes are numbered here. And I'd hate to say goodbye. You guys have blown my mind. You are my net, and thank you for saying that. Yes, I will check out Styx. I need to check out Triumph. I'm going to be keeping these. I'm going to go back through these comments, guys. But check out the top 10 does to play double necks. Okay. That I know. Guys, let's do a quick poll. Put your hands up right back. Is this something that we want to do and continue doing? I know I do. And eventually I want to, it's kind of behind the curtain stuff, insider baseball. But eventually, though, I'd like for more than just myself to be talking. I'm not sure how we can do it yet. I think I know the tech to make it happen. But to start involving you guys, if any of you, if some of you are ready and willing to either just your voice or camera and voice, if you have that set up, to be part of a live show so I can have a group of experts more than just myself. Again, this isn't just about me, but anyway, yes, I love it. Yes. Thank you, Neil. Yeah. So I want to do this again too. Thank you. And thank you, Matt. Thank you, brother. Yes, thank you, Thomas. Much love to you, Neil, brother. Thank you, man. Skynet. Is that a band? Help me out, Matt. I want to keep talking too. And what's funny is though, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, geez, Louise, all you get from me is this weird, way too honest stream of consciousness. But that's all you get from me, right? There's no filter here. Well, but the point is, in my back of my mind, I'm going, don't keep them here too long, like, yeah, but I want to talk about this too. And this back and forth we already have just text. Anyways, you guys are making this is amazing. I'm loving this. TikTok, yes. Thank you for bringing up TikTok. All right, so let's just do this. Let's talk a little bit longer. Pray for the Rush sister that lost her. Yes, amen to that. Thank you, Alan. Yeah. Judy, was it? Lost her husband today. It was earlier we found out she shared that with us. And I think his name was Paul. Yeah, and yeah, Judy. And she shared that she lost her husband this morning. So thank you. You're right, Alan. If you guys pray, and I suggest you should, pray for her. Uh, yeah, that's enough said. Um, so you're very welcome. Thank you, Ruben. And it just Ruben, you were like the third guy to come on. That you're still here. Thank you. Thank you, bro. Love it. So Matt, did you answer my? Oh, the movie. What? Well, you're talking Terminator, or is there a movie called Skynet? So yeah, yeah, Judy. Love you, Alan. Thank you, bro. Man, thank you. I'm gonna have some exclusive content soon for members only. I have some ideas, and plus, yeah, we're gonna make it happen. But I want to keep doing this because ever since, I mean, my videos, right? It's an honor for me to make them. It's my pleasure and honor. But hearing from you guys, hearing from your comments when you have written me in my joy, and I'm sitting here, I'm smiling, right? You literally have brought smiles to so many of my days. And I'd open up my phone and I'm like, and I'd just be smiling and chuckling and happy at whatever you've shared with me, and whether it might just be some emojis or big multi-paragraph shares about your histories and all these things. Anyway, you've fulfilled part of my life and my need for friendship that honestly I didn't know I need fulfilling. Okay, I'm really content in my own little bubble universe, and Eric's kind of happy in there, but you can't exist in there alone, can you? Not for too long. And you guys have pierced that bubble, stepped into my universe, and shared yours. And our universe has expanded that way together. And that means the world to me. So thank you. And that's why I want to keep doing this. Skynet was what took over. Oh, I know. With Terminator. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love the Terminator stuff. I mean, Terminator 2 was a landmark. And guys, I could talk film and movies for hours alone. And I'd like to do shows about just that, by the way. Some this format, but movies and whatever. But yeah, I could talk movies and all that stuff for hours. And so anyway, Terminator. Yes, Terminator 2 was a landmark film, right? What Cameron and Digital Domain did with those liquid effects, right? And the T1000? The T1000, the liquid metal robot. That was the first time that we saw photorealistic on that level. We saw it again or just before with the Abyss, with those water effects coming out of the water, right? In the Abyss movie. But that was one of the major game changers. Of course, the biggest game changer with regard to visual effects was Jurassic Park. I was working in the movie theater the summer Jurassic Park came out. By the way, that's part of my work history. In high school, I worked at the movie theaters. Dream job, and free movies and popcorn, and come on. But the lines for Jurassic Park wrapped around our little building, just right. Show after show, matinee to evening, matinee to evening. Jurassic Park, for its time, if you adjust for inflation, made gazillions of dollars. The point is, though, the effects. That was ILM, of course, Spielberg directing, and based on John Crichton's book. Wow. All right, I'll slow down on that. But the point is, those effects, the photorealistic dinosaurs. You guys remember, right? Remember the little clicking of the talons on the floor and the breath on the door with the velociraptors, or when the T-Rex is chasing, and you see it in the little side view mirror. I mean, those are photorealistic in the moment. And some of that was animatronics, yeah, but those were VFX, okay? Those were created digitally in computers, and they felt real, and they had weight, and they existed in the scenes with the actors in the environments. Mind blowing. And that's why, that's one of the reasons why Jurassic Park made so much money, is because we were given a visual feast on which to dine, and we still are. That movie still stands up. Still stands up, and was, of course, the best of all the Jurassic Park movies. So, anyway, but yeah, Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, landmark films. Of course, another one in 99. Those were earlier in the 90s. In 99, of course, we had The Matrix. Okay? And The Matrix, another movie that broke all kinds of barriers. And the first Matrix movie is a masterpiece in and of its own right. 2 and 3, the fourth, who cares? But the first one was amazing. All right? That moment when Neo, who now is John Wick, right? Okay, Keanu Reeves, when he could see the Matrix, and he could actually read code in real time, and therefore he became master of that universe, and he's just like, no. And this fury of bullets is coming at him, and they just stop midair. And he picks it up and looks at it. It's just code. It's just code. He just drops it. Anyway, I want to go watch The Matrix now. Guys, I could talk movies for hours. And you can see I'm rocking back and forth in my chair. I mean, yes, next to Rush, I get just as excited about movies and TV. And it's one of my greatest loves. So, thank you for going down that little side journey. Yes, Kansas is awesome. And again, Doomsday Clock, this is an early warning. I'm reading your comments. You're very welcome, Paul. Thank you for being here, bro. Yeah, it is. Paul said, just chatting about Rush is healing. We've touched on some heavy stuff. Heavy stuff. Emotionally heavy topics in this, and I'm happy to go there. Life is a lot more than yucks and laughs, right? Life is an up and down, a journey through which we go. We were never promised an easy life, far from it. But it's how well we do each day, getting up, working, trying to be the best people we can be. And in the face of tragedy, whether we talked about the aviation stuff that's been happening, and so the kind of concern and how that hits home for so many of us. We think about those families, but also Judy sharing this loss. Okay? And we talk about Neil and that loss. It's part of life. And Neil beautifully wrote that into his lyrics. This journey, this road that we all travel. Yeah, it's not an easy road. It does make it a lot easier, though, traversing these ups and downs when we can have some bridges between them built by friendship, right? The lows aren't as low and the highs aren't as high. We can kind of ride that wave and get some stability there. And that's what you guys have helped bring to me. So well said. Well said. You guys, thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Now they see. I'm reading your stuff. Okay. I just wanted to know if anyone ever listened to Sunday Jordan's song back in Utica. Utica. Okay. I know that college. Unbelievable. Check them out. Eleanor Rigby. Okay. So true. Okay. Hey, audiophile. That's not easy either. You caring for family members with, yeah. I hear you. I see you. I read you. I see you. And that's one of the highest callings you can have right there. That is the purest expression of love, helping those who cannot help themselves. I also have family members outside my in my extended family. My best friend Joel in College Station, where he lives, he has a son who deals with a lot. My sister does. I have multiple people in my life. And I think we all do, right? Where even it's just one family member is challenged physically. I've been anyway. So I wanted to say thank you, audiophile, for that work and that loving care that you're giving. That's awesome. I've been very blessed in my life that my children have, for the most part, been fine, if you will, right? Health wise and every other way wise. And I believe that we're only given as much as we can handle. There's only so much we can take in what's allowed to be put on our plate, if you will. There is a limit, right? And I've carried a lot of that for my family, and I'm happy to do it. The stuff that I've suffered, still suffer from, has, of course, affected my family, right? The things that I go through daily, my pain, my chronic pain, the the rest of my life, I'm going to be dealing with the fallout of this. And then having quadruple bypass heart surgery over a year ago, because of a genetic thing. The neck was genetic, the heart was genetic. What a body I had, right? Come on. I'm waiting for the next piece to fall. But the point is this. I'm thankful for bearing that, if you will. That my kids and my wife are fine. Because my heart goes out to you and those of you who have family members who are suffering. And we all have these struggles, right? But I'm happy to carry that burden for my family. And that's the way I have to look at it. But also, guys, I feel blessed for these struggles that I go through, have gone through, and I'm going, why? They have made me who I am. I wouldn't be the person I am now without that. That's one reason I like time travel, right? You start to second guess if you change something here, how would it change the future, right? That causality link between the past and the future. But the point is, though, that we all go through stuff. I go through stuff. You guys have family members. Maybe you are suffering. And it's not easy. Come on. No. Of course it's not easy. But it's how we handle it and who it makes it. So, not to end on that kind of note, I just wanted to say thank you for sharing this guy's stuff. Because, yeah, it is how we rise to the occasion. And I just speak from personal experience, and I think you may know, and how we overcome adversity and the challenges of life, getting up, going to work, but also being able to still support and serve others even though we are suffering ourselves. That is the highest calling. That is the very best of being human. Overcoming that daily, that hourly challenge through which you're going. All right, wow. I think you get me, though. And these are all revelations that have come to only in the past few years. And I'm very thankful for them because they have changed my complete outlook on like a 180. A 180 from those dark years after I lost my career. Dark. And man, dark. But let's end this on a positive note. Where I am now, I'm so thankful. Yeah, I'm still suffering, but who gives a crap? I'm doing well. You guys help that. Your friendship, your ongoing friendship. Thank you guys. I'm reading your stuff. So, yeah, DW drums. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that, Matt. That's awesome, bro. Glad to hear that. Glad you're blessed that way. Yeah, heart. Yeah. Dude, I'm glad you said that. Peter, thank you, Peter. Heart surgery will give you 180. It was out of the blue. I didn't even get chest pain. My pain or my heart attacks were happening in my back. That's where, And I've got the neck issue to the top of my spine. I'm fused from C2 to the base of my skull. I've worn a halo multiple times. I don't like to go into this all the time, but the point is I have radical reconstructive neck surgery, right? I'm blessed not to be paralyzed or dead from that. But then for my back to start hurting because my heart's starting to implode, I thought, oh, it's my spine again. No, no. It's called a widowmaker. I had 3 of them. Like, I mean, I could have died anytime like that. And when the pain in my back got so radically bad that I'm literally crying out, screaming out on the floor of the living room, trying to stretch my back to make it feel better, my wife calls an ambulance. And we quickly find out that this isn't your back, dude, your heart. I had like 90 to 100% blockage in three of the 4 valves. I could have been dead, guys. So they rerouted half my plumbing. They pulled parts out of me and rerouted stuff, a bypass surgery, cracked me open like an egg. I have a lovely zipper scar there, just like I do on my neck now. I say all this to emphasize the point that yes, a 180, that you start counting every day. I am blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to be walking. I'm blessed to be sitting right here in this very moment talking to you. I shouldn't be. I should have been dead 10 times over. So I'm just saying this is a positive. I'm realizing how beautiful life is. And when you're given, quote, that second chance, thank you through modern medicine from saving me, then I know there's more than that at play. But yes, that hands on the boots on the ground, hands on my chest saved my life. And I'm sitting here now, guys. So guys, there's always another day and it can keep going. So yeah, Roto-Rooter, exactly right. Thank you for getting me off that topic. Fight the good fight. Love it. Love it. Yeah, okay, I got to check out Triumph. Well said. Oh, you found them at 75. They found... yeah, I like that. Rush found me. Well said. Yeah. Yeah. On that note, Alan, Rush retired. I've been screaming for 20 years. Please give us another Headache. I would love another Geddy Lee album. Love it. I love my favorite Headache. Yeah, oh my goodness, I would love another Geddy Lee album. Whew. Anyway, I can't go on and on. I mean, and if that was what I got from them for the rest of my life, right? I know never more Rush. But even if they don't collaborate in the studio again, Alex and Geddy, if Geddy at least went in, can you imagine though? Like that link between Liquid Tension Experiment and Dream Theater, right? Where the members of Liquid Tension Experiment started populating Dream Theater to a point where it's like, how do we keep this thing over here going without calling that Dream Theater 2? I bring that up because wouldn't it be hilarious? Geddy goes in to record a new solo album. It's like, Alex, would you come over and lay down some tracks? You know what I mean? Like, so it's like that bleeding of realities. Where does Rush start? I mean, there's no Rush without Neil. Don't need to send me a comment. But the point is, yeah, I just would love a new Geddy album. You guys are amazing for letting me ramble like this. All right, yeah, thank you, Alan. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Hey, I have been blown away by you guys and your openness to share spirituality, your faith in God, and prayer. I've been reluctant to go down that path because, again, I try to keep it here, right? But yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, I do believe in prayer, and I have a deep faith in God. There, I said it. If you want to walk away from this channel and unsubscribe, okay. Okay. But I will publicly say who I am. You obviously know I don't make that the main crux of this channel, and I never will. This channel is not about that per se. But that's why I do appreciate the numerous comments and now live text from you guys who have also shared this. And again, you'll never get that at the forefront. I just letting you know who I am. Okay, I've said it, and we're done. Okay? And again, take it as it is. Free will, free speech. I just want to let you know who I am moving on. But I just want to let you guys know that's who I am. And that those dark years and the light in which I now stand and how I'm doing well even in the face of all this adversity, it's only because of that. That's it. I could not do any of this without the strength of God. Hands down, end of sentence. Okay, I've said it. I've kind of, forgive me for skirting around that issue. I don't and never would want to quote unquote, but how could my words offend someone? If you don't like the way I believe or the things that I say, that's fine. I hope you can still respect me on other levels, because as I will you. If you don't believe in all these things, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we both like Rush. That's called freedom of speech. And so, okay, there you go, guys. But I just want to say that out loud for you. So I appreciate you guys so much for sharing that with me and sharing yours as well with me. Amen to that, brother. We do need more love, Alan. Thank you, Stargazer. Matt, thank you. Yeah, the old ticker. Thank you. No, that's just me saying thank you. It just deep. Thank you, Thomas. Me too. Me too. Wow. You know what? Okay, we're going there. Just real quick. I have always found it easy to be a massive Rush fan, lover of Neil Peart's lyrics. 99.99999% of them have no conflict whatsoever with Christianity. It's that high of a percentage. And even though I don't think the guys have a personal faith themselves, can you name a better band? Yeah. I just want to say that real quick, right? And I've thought about talking about that in a video. I guess I just did. So, you guys are blowing my mind. Thank you. Hugs. Hugs to you. Thank you, Tommy. Yes, he is, Alan. Thank you, brother. Okay. I'm not going to sit here on camera for 10 minutes to just be shaking my head out of marvelment of what we're sharing here, but that's how much this means to me. So, guys, it's that old Barnum and Bailey thing or whatever some showman once said, leave before it gets... Anyway, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for being here. Let's do this again soon. I'll try to give you a heads up next time, okay? I'm going to give you a heads up on when we could do this again, but, you guys have blown my mind tonight. Thank you. God bless you guys. Thank you for being here. This is the Loudboy Experience, but you know what? This is Eric, and I appreciate all of you. Alan, thank you. Thank you, guys. So, guys, you have a good night. I told you it's my first time doing it. I don't even know how to wrap this up. So I'm just going to say good night. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you next time.